This time, 9 years have gone by, friends. Summer, 1913. Gradual changes in Grover's Corners. Horses are getting rarer. Farmers are coming into town in Fords. Everyone's locking their house doors now at night. Ain't been any burglars in town yet, but everyone's heard of them. You'd be surprised, though. On the whole, not a lot changes around here. This is certainly an important part of Grover's Corners. It's on a hilltop, a windy hilltop. Lots of sky, lots of clouds, often lots of sun and moon and stars. You come up here on a fine afternoon, and you can see range on range of hills. Awful blue they are, up by Lake Sunapee and Lake Winnipesaukee. And way up, if you've got a glass, you can see the White Mountains and Mount Washington, where Conway and North Conway is. And of course our favorite mountain, Mount Monadnock's over here, and all the towns that lie around it. Jaffrey and East Jaffrey and Peterborough and Dublin. And there, way down, is Grover's Corners. Yes, beautiful place up here. Mountain laurel and lilac. I often wonder why people like to be buried in Woodlawn in Brooklyn when they might pass up the same time here in New Hampshire.
Over there are the old stones, 1670, 1680. Strong-minded people come a long way to be independent. Summer people like to walk around and laugh at the funny words written on the tombstones that don't do any harm. Genealogists are sent up from Boston, paid by city people to look up their ancestors. They want to make sure they're daughters of the American Revolution and of the Mayflower. I suppose that don't do any harm either. Over there are the Civil War veterans, iron flags on their graves. New Hampshire boys had a notion that the Union ought to stay together, though they'd never seen more than 50 miles of it themselves. All they knew was the name, friends, the United States of America. The United States of America. And they went and died about it.
This here is the new part of the cemetery. There's your friend Mrs. Gibbs, and let me see, Mr. Stinson, organist at the Congregational Church, and Mrs. Soames, who enjoyed the wedding so. You remember? And a lot of others. There's editor Websboy Wallace, whose appendix burst on a Boy Scout trip to Crawford Notch. Yes, an awful lot of sorrow has sort of quieted down up here. People just wild with grief bring their relatives up to this hill. We're just happy they're in a beautiful place, and we're coming up here ourselves when our fit's over.
Now, there are some things we all know, but we don't take them out and look at them very often. We all know that something is eternal. And it ain't houses, and it ain't names, and it ain't the earth, and it ain't even the stars. We all know that something is eternal, and that something has to do with human beings. The greatest people ever lived have been telling us this for 5,000 years. Yet, you'd be surprised how often people are losing hold of it. Now, you know as well as I do that the dead don't stay interested in us living for very long. Gradually they lose hold of the earth, and the ambitions they had, and the pleasures they had, and the things they suffered, and the people they loved. They get weaned away from earth. That's the way I put it, weaned away. And they stay here while the earth part of them burns out, burns away while they slowly become indifferent to what's going on in Grover's Corners. They're waiting. They're waiting for something they feel is coming, something important and great. Aren't they waiting for the eternal part of them to come out clear? Some of the things they're going to say may hurt your feelings, but that's the way it is. Mother and daughter, husband and wife, enemy and enemy, money and miser. All these terribly important things grow kind of pale. And what's left when memory's gone? And your identity, Mrs. Smith?
Well, there are some living people. There's Joe Stoddard, our undertaker, supervising a new made grave. And here comes a Grover's Corners girl that left town to go out west.
Good afternoon, Joe Stoddard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let me see now. Do I know you?
I'm Samantha Craig.
Gracious sakes alive, of all people? I should have known you'd be back to the funeral, Samantha. You've been away a long time.
Yes, I've been away over 12 years. I'm in business out in Buffalo now, Joe. But I was in the East when I got news of my cousin's death, so I thought I'd combine things a little and come and see the old home. You look well.
Yes, can't complain. Very sad our journey here today, Samantha.
Yes.
Yes. I always say, I hate supervising when a young person is taken. He'll be here in a few minutes now. I came here early today. My son's supervising at the home.
Old Farmer McCarty. I used to do chores for him after school. He has a lumbago.
Yes, we brought Farmer McCarty here a number of years ago now.
Why, this is my Aunt Julia. I'd forgotten that she... Of course.
Doc Gibbs lost his wife about 2 or 3 years ago, around this time. And today's another pretty bad blow for him, too.
That's my sister, Carrie's girl, Samantha Craig.
I'm always uncomfortable when they're around.
Simon?
Do they choose their own verses much, Joe?
No, not usual. Mostly the bereaved pick a verse.
Doesn't sound like Aunt Julia. There aren't many of those Christy sisters left now. Let me see. Where are... I wanted to look at my father's and mother's.
Over there, with the Craigs, Avenue F.
He was organist at church, wasn't he? Drank a lot, we used to say.
No one was supposed to know about it. He'd seen a peck of trouble. Took his own life, you know.
Oh, did he?
Hung himself in the attic. They tried to hush it up, but of course it got around. Chose his own epitaph. You can see it there. It ain't a verse exactly.
Why, it's just some notes of music. What is it?
Oh, I wouldn't know. It was written up in the Boston papers at the time.
Joe, what did she die of?
Who?
My cousin.
Oh, didn't you hear? Had some trouble bringing a baby into the world. It was her second, though. It was a boy, about 4 years old.
The grave's going to be over there?
Yes, there ain't much more room here among the Gibbses, so they're opening up a new Gibbs section over by Avenue B. You'll excuse me now. I see they're coming.
Who is it, Julia?
It's my daughter-in-law, Emily Webb.
Well, I declare, the road up here must have been awfully muddy. What did she die of, Julia?
In childbirth.
Childbirth? I'd forgotten all about that. My, wasn't life awful and wonderful?
Wonderful? Was it?
No, Simon. Remember.
I remember Emily's wedding, loveliest wedding I've been to, and I remember Emily reading the poems at graduation exercises. Emily was one of the brightest girls ever graduating from high school. I remember Principal Wilkins say so time after time. I called on their new farm just before I died. Perfectly beautiful farm.
It was on the same road we lived on.
Yep, right smart farm. I was hoping they'd sing a hymn. I always liked that hymn.
Hello.
Hello, Emily.
Hello, Miss Gibbs.
Hello, Mother Gibbs.
Emily.
Hello. It's raining.
Yes. They'll be gone soon, dear. Just rest yourself.
It seems thousands and thousands of years since Papa remembered that that was my favorite hymn. Oh, I wish I'd been there a long time. I don't like being new here. How do you do, Mr. Simpson?
How do you do, Emily?
Oh, Mother Gibbs, George and I have made that farm into just the best place you ever saw. We thought of you the whole time. We wanted to show you the new barn and a great long cement drinking fountain for the stock. We bought that out of the money you left us.
I did?
Don't you remember, Mother Gibbs? The legacy you left us. Why, it was over $350.
Yes, Emily.
Well, there's a patent device on the drinking fountain so that it never overflows, and it never goes below a certain mark, Mother Gibbs. It's fine. It won't be the same to George without me, but it's a lovely farm. Live people don't understand, do they?
No, Emily, they don't.
They're sort of shut up and
Carter's. Oh, Miss Carter, my boy is spending the day at your house. Is he? Yes, he loves it there. We have a Ford too, Mother Gibbs. Never gives any trouble. I don't drive, though. Mother Gibbs, when does this feeling go away of being one of them? How long does it...
Shh, dear. Just be patient.
Look, they're finished. They're going.
Shh.
Look, Father Gibbs is bringing some of my flowers to you. Oh, he looks just like George, doesn't he? I never realized before how troubled and how in the dark life persons are. Oh, look at him. I loved him so. From morning till night, that's all they are, troubled.
A little cooler than it was. Yes, that rain's cooled it off a little. Those northeast winds always do the same thing, don't they?
If it isn't a rain, it's a 3-day blow.
But Mother Gibbs, one can go back into living. I feel it, I know it. Why, just then for a moment I was thinking about the farm, and I was there, and my baby was on my lap as plain as day.
Yes, of course you can, Emily.
I can go back there and live all those days over again? Why not?
All I can say, Emily, don't.
But it's true, isn't it? I can go back there and live again?
Yes, some have tried, but they soon come back here.
But I won't live over a sad day. I'll choose a happy day. I'll choose the day I first knew that I loved George.
Don't do it, Emily.
Emily, don't. It's not what you think it'd be.
But I won't choose a sad day.
You not only live it, you watch yourself living.
Yes?
And you see the thing that they down there will never know. You see the future. You know what's going to happen already.
But is that painful? Why?
That's not the only reason why you shouldn't do it, Emily. When you've been here longer, you will see that our lives here is to forget all that, to think what's ahead, and to be ready for what's ahead. When you've been here longer, you will understand.
But Mother Gibbs, how can I ever forget that life? It's all I know. It's all I had.
Oh, Emily, it isn't wise. Really, it isn't.
But it's something I must know for myself. I'll choose a happy day anyway.
No, choose an unimportant day. Choose the least important day of your life. It will be important enough.
Well, it can't be since I was married or since the baby was born. I can choose a birthday at least, can't I? I choose my 12th birthday.
All right. February 11th, 1899, a Tuesday. Do you want any special time of day?
Oh, I want the whole day.
We'll begin at dawn. Remember, it had been snowing for several days, but it stopped the night before, and they had begun clearing the roads. The sun's coming out.
Here's Main Street. And there's Mr. Morgan's drugstore before he changed it. And the livery stable.
Yes. It's 1899. This is 14 years ago.
Oh, that's the time I knew as a little girl. And there's the old white fence that used to be around our house. Oh, I'd forgotten that. Oh, I love it so. Are they inside?
Yes, your mother will be coming downstairs to make breakfast in a few minutes.
Will she?
And you remember, your father had been away for a couple of days. He came back on the early morning train.
No.
He went back to his old college to make a speech in Western New York, at Clinton.
Look, there's Howie Newsome. And our policeman. But he's dead. He died.
Come on, Bessie.
You're up early, Bill.
Well, there was a Polish guy from a Polish town who faked right down in the snowdrifts. Why, he thought he was in bed when I shook him.
Why, there's Joe Kroll.
Morning, Mr. Warren. Morning, Howie.
Children, time to get up. Mama, oh, how young Mama looks. I forgot Mama was ever that young. You can come and dress by the fire if you'd like, but hurry.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Nixon. Oh, it's cold.
Yes, I'm cold by my part.
Think of it. Keep yourself wrapped up.
Mama, I can't find my blue hair ribbon anywhere.
Just open your eyes, dear. I lit it up for you special on the
he's keeping himself wrapped up.
I can't bear it. They're so young and beautiful. Why did they ever have to grow old? Mama, I'm here. I can't look at everything enough. I love everything.
Good morning, Mama.
Very happy birthday to my girl and many happy returns. There are some surprises waiting for you on the kitchen table.
Oh, Mama, you shouldn't have. I can't.
But birthday or no birthday, I want you to chew your bacon good and slow. To help keep warm on this cold day. That and that blue paper is something I found in the mail. Your Aunt Nora sent it. And that postcard album, George Gibbs must write it with hope from Europe.
Oh, George, I'd forgotten that.
Eat your breakfast good and slow. It'll help you be a good, strong girl.
Oh, Mama, just look at me 1 minute as though you really saw me. Mama, 14 years have gone by. I'm dead. Mama, I married George Gibbs. Wally's dead too. His appendix burst on a camping trip to North Conway. But just for a moment, we're all together. Just for a moment, we're happy. Let's look at one another.
And that yellow is something I found among your grandmother's things. I think you're old enough now, and I thought you'd like it.
Oh, Mom, it's just lovely, and it's just what I wanted. Thank you.
I figured you'd like it. Couldn't find one here. Had your Aunt Claire look for one in Boston. She couldn't find one either, so I sent all the way to Concord. And your brother has something for you, too. Made it in manual training class. Please make a big fuss about it. And your father. I don't know what he got you. Here he comes.
Where's my girl? Where's my birthday girl?
I can't go on. It all goes so fast. We don't have time to look at one another. I didn't realize all that was going on, and we never noticed. Take me back, up the hill, to my grave. But first, wait. One more look. Goodbye. Goodbye, world. Goodbye, Grover's Corner. Goodbye, Mama and Papa. Goodbye to clocks ticking, and Mama's sunflowers, and food and coffee, and new iron dresses, and hot baths, and sleeping and waking up. Oh, Earth, you're too wonderful for anybody to realize you. Do any human beings realize life as they live it every minute?
No. The saints and poets, maybe. They do some.
I'm ready to go back.
Were you happy?
No, I should have listened to you. That's all human beings are. Just blind people.
Look, Emily. It's clearing up. The stars are coming out.
Oh, Mr. Stimson, I should have listened to them.
Yes. Now you know. Now you know. That's what it was to be alive. To move about in a cloud of ignorance. To go up and down, trampling on the feelings of those about you. To spend and waste time as if you had 1,000,000 years. To always be at the center of someone's self-centered passion. Yes, that's a happy existence you wanted to go back to. Ignorance and blindness.
Simon Stimson, that ain't the whole truth, and you know it. Emily, look at that star. Why, I forgot its name.
My boy Joel's a sailor. Knew 'em all. He sit on the porch evenings and tell 'em all by name. Yes, sir, wonderful.
The star's mighty good company.
Yes, 'tis.
There's one of them coming.
That's funny. Take no time for one another to be here. Goodness sakes.
Mother Gibbs, it's George.
Shh, dear. Just rest yourself.
It's George.
Shh. And my boy Joel, the one who knew the stars, he used to say it took millions of years for that speck of light to get to Earth. Don't seem like a body could believe it, but that's what he used to say. Millions of years.
Goodness, that ain't no way to behave. You ought to be home.
Mother Gibbs.
Yes, Emily?
They don't understand, do they?
No, they don't understand.
Most everybody's asleep in Grover's Corners. There are a few lights on. Shorty Hawkins down at the depot has just watched the Albany train go by. And at the livery stable, someone's setting up late and talking. Things are clearing up. There are the stars doing their old crisscross journeys in the sky.
Scholars haven't quite settled the matter yet, but they seem to think that there are no living beings up there. Just chalk. Or fire. Only this one's straining away all the time to make something of itself. The strain's so bad that every 16 hours, everyone lies down and gets a rest.
11 o'clock in Grover's Corners.
You get a good rest, too.
Good night.